Various teams continue to arrive in Cameroon for the African Cup of Nations tournament that begins on Sunday. The latest to arrive are the Mauritanian team led by their French coach Didier Gomez Darosa, who will feature in Group F. This is the second time the country is featuring in this tournament. Obviously, Algeria are favourites because they haven't been beaten for years and they have done very well. After that, there are 3 or 4 other very high-level nations that can make the last 4. But I'm interested in Mauritania, which has a football that is progressing a lot and that we have to show at this competition. Mauritania will kick off the African Cup of Nations Wednesday against Gambia and Limbe just before the clash between the two groups favourites Tunisia and Mali. The wait is finally over for Cameroon, which hosts the African Cup of Nations 3 years later than initially planned, as its own indomitable alliance seems to be ready to face Bukina Faso in their first AFCON 2021 match. Their captain Vincent Abubakar said the team was ready to give it all to win the 2021 Cup in Africa. If we give it our all and do what is necessary, I think we will win the game. No game is easy against African teams. All African teams have reached a certain level. We have to give our best, be united, and be really ambitious to be able to win the matches. Meanwhile, Bukina Faso captain Bertrand Traoré has deplored as a scandal coronavirus testing procedures at the African Cup of Nations after up to 5 players and coach Kamo Malo tested positive in the run-up to Sunday's opener against host Cameroon. He said, "This morning we were told that some players are positive and therefore they cannot participate in the game. I think it is a scandal." Meanwhile, their coach said the first objective is to get out of the group stages. The final objective is trying to do better than in 2013, that is to say, to win the cup without being too presumptuous. The first match will pit Cameroon versus Bukina Faso, and later on Ethiopia will meet Cape Verde in Group A matches on Sunday. Other matches are scheduled to go ahead from Monday, with Group A, B, C up to G going ahead in the coming few days. Pygmies in Cameroon, who have been hunting in the forest for about 5,000 years, are now left homeless as a result of the felling of trees and the destruction of the forests. Thick rainforests inhabited by pygmies are rapidly depleting due to timber production and mining. Every year, 8 million hectares of the forests are being overexploited, and this creates a problem in Baka forests and even in general to the pygmies families. If all this is cut, this Baka area will lose its identity in general. Integration efforts aim at putting the pygmies who are not allowed to live in the forest that have been turned into national parks or even enter the forest to settle down are not successful. Our lives depend on these forests. It's part of us. This is where we get our life back, and this is where we get our food. The need for timber and other uses of tree in the area has negatively affected their lives, and they are now calling for urgent measures to be taken to curb this threat. These huge trailers pass here every day. These are the vehicles that destroy our forest. This is their work on a daily basis. The lives are now in jeopardy according to a new study in scientific reports led by scientists with the Center for International Forestry Research, which show the availability hunting area is also at risk. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said the ruling party, the African National Congress ANC, must work to regain popular support after being embroiled in corruption scandals and divided by bitter factional rivalries. Marking the ANC's 110th anniversary Saturday, Ramaphosa struck a somber note emphasizing unity in the whole nation.
Where someone stands up, non-racialism is a fundamental principle of the ANC and lies at the heart of our objective to build a South African nation with a common patriotism. It is only the African National Congress that can ensure that this objective is achieved. No other organization in our country can do so.
The ANC came to power in 1994 when the country's first democratic elections were held and Mandela became the first black president. However, its support has declined in recent years and it received less than 50% of votes cast in local elections in October, its worst ever performance at the polls. Fewer people attended the anniversary Saturday as a result of COVID-19 regulations which restrict gatherings to a maximum of 2,000 people. A somber mood as the world mourns the death of Sidney Poitier, who has died at the age of 94. Poitier, who died Thursday night at his home in Los Angeles, achieved mainstream popularity with a series of groundbreaking roles at a time of great racial tension in America in the 1950s and 1960s.
Sidney Poitier was the first to win an Oscar. He was the first black leading man. He was the one that they allowed into the space, and he carried that burden for decades alone. And it's a tough burden. You've got to meet the standards of what white America wants to see on screen without selling out black America. He walked a line very well, and he did it with dignity, and I'm grateful for that.
Poitier was awarded an honorary Oscar in 2002 for his extraordinary performances on the silver screen and his dignity, style and intelligence off of it. He is still remembered as an influencer too.
He came here and he made a life for himself, and he blazed a trail for other actors like, Will Smith, Denzel Washington, all these people that came after him. They followed in his footsteps.
Poitier was awarded the U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom, the country's highest civilian honor, by Barack Obama in 2009.